the ball is going at this diagonal shape. Your chest is open, your shoulders are down. And notice again where your shoulder is in comparison to your elbow. It should be directly over. And we're starting with a nice slow, steady twist of the waist, reaching those arms out. And then exhaling, coming on back. Good. 4 more just like this. So finding that twist through the waist, reaching with the arm, pushing down, and just noticing how much further back your elbow can go each time. And your hips at this moment are still very stacked. So that concept of warming up the belly through a gentle twist and reach, and then exhaling your way back. Great, and your last time here. Great, let's lift the right leg a tiny bit off the left and start to add a reach. So you're twisting here, same thing, stretching out that right leg, and then finding your way back, reaching that right leg all the way in front of you for a nice little reach. So now ideally the knees are somewhat close to each other, meaning I'm not asking you to bring that right leg much further than the bottom left, not at this moment, but using that reach of the belly to exhale, restack, and stretch that right leg out. And you'll notice here that you're still keeping your hips stacked, right? We're trying to keep that concept of the aligned hips. Great. Let's do one more full one. Inhaling, reaching all the way, twisting down. And then exhaling, finding your way back to the center, stacking your knees again. Great, bringing your fingertips forward facing, using this ball to push on down. So we're pushing as we lift up the right knee, and then finding our way back to the center. If at some point you feel like, hey, my neck needs a nice little look down, by all means look down. And I want us to think about this side body at the moment, right? So you'll notice that you're not sinking, right? We still have that long side body as we push and release, keeping the ankles nice and connected here. We have another 4. And noticing where are you getting a little bit tight, where can you release that tension? Inhaling, push, exhale, release. The last 2. And then your last one here. Great, slowly and steadily bringing both heels off of the floor. And let's try and add a nice little reach of the knee. And then on the way back, we're gonna push up that ball at a diagonal. So think about using that diagonal direction of the elbow to lift and push. So it's almost like you're stretching out your elbow a little bit as you come on up. The shoulder reaches a tiny bit, but not so much movement in the shoulder. Inhaling, push and lift. Exhale, return. Great, another 4. And it's almost like you can sense a different part of your arm, right? Like when you push down on the ball, you feel one part of your arm. And as you stretch out that back part, you can sense another part. Super, your last full one here. Excellent, finding your way back to the center, take a deep breath. Swing your legs all the way in front of you and just float over, whoop, to the other side. Great, so let's start with that nice stacked shoulder over the elbow. The ball comes close in between your knees and your hands. Fingertips are at that diagonal shape. And you're leaning and twisting into the ball. And then finding your way back. Remember, we have 5 of these to allow for that full spinal rotation here. So that concept of allowing it to get a little bit longer, a little bit deeper each time. Great. Another 2. And finding that reach all the way here on your inhale. And exhale. Great, let's lift the left leg a little bit higher. And let's change up the breath pattern here. So we're gonna take an inhale to prepare. And we're gonna exhale lengthen. Great. Inhale, coming on back. Exhale, release. So sometimes one breath pattern feels more supportive than the other. Often we exhale on the more challenging things or on the release, but sometimes I kind of feel like that inhale allows us to expand as well. So we're just trying things out here. We have another 3. And paying attention to what this side feels like. Can you allow for that full rotation back to the center, noticing how your knee is not going anywhere. Great. And your last one here. Cool. We're gonna do 5 more because I realized we didn't do that extension of the leg in the front, and that's totally fine. So let's add that now. Who couldn't embrace another 5 twists? Exhaling out. Inhaling, finding that way. It's amazing though how sometimes one side just feels like it doesn't want to do that. That left kick did not want to happen, but now it is. And again, that full feeling of release, right? Now you'll notice like the difference between stopping your knee and then kicking your leg. Great. Last 2. And then your full exhale, reach. And inhaling here. Exhale, find your way back. Good. Fingertips are forward facing, lifting all the way up, and you push down as your knee goes up. And then you find that resistance down. So it's like that compilation of working the push with the knee. Great. Another 5. And seeing if you can use the entire arm to push. So it's not just the hand, but it's like that full arm activation through the belly, of course, for the next 2. Inhale here and then exhale, return. Great, heels are coming off. So we're pushing in, opening here, and then on the way back, we're reaching and finding our way back. Inhaling, pushing and opening, and then keeping that diagonal of that left elbow. And you'll notice that, of course, there's movement happening, but I want us to think about, can we stabilize through the torso, like that side body, and just allow for enough space to like reach that maximum, but it's still like a controlled move. Great, 2 more for me. And your last full one here. Inhaling, pushing on down. Exhale, reaching. Super, finding your way back to the center. And then slowly and steadily come over towards this side again. So the left hand is going to be forward facing. We're lifting our body up and finding our way all the way here with this extension. So if you feel like your hand feels better this way, you can do it, but I feel like this is a better feel. Great, reaching this right arm all the way up as the leg comes up, and then twisting again down, pushing for a moment. So again, that feeling of reaching and lifting, and then noticing that you can push down. So right now, nothing is happening with that left side of you other than that support feeling. Great, we have another 4. And when you push down on the ball, seeing almost like if you can lift that left side body like a tiny bit more internally. Great. And then your last full one here. Excellent. Slowly put that foot down, reach the arm all the way up, and then finding a nice little swing as you lengthen, and then swing as you close. And again, you can always look down at the floor. Great. Swinging, gently circling, and finding a feel of a consistency that feels aligned with where you're at right now. 2 more. And your last time. Excellent. Slowly and steadily finding your way back down towards the center. Great. So keeping that hand where it is, keeping the hand on the right, close to your right ankle. And we're slowly going to lift and reach. And then close and lower. So that right leg has been doing essentially variations of the same move, but noticing how we can still use that side belly to reach and lower. Get 3 more. And seeing what that feels like when your whole body closes together and then everything just extends. Last time here. Excellent. Finding your way back to the center, opening up your knees just for a moment. Did some extra stuff yesterday and my butt cheeks are happily activated. Rolling forward. Wiggling out your shoulders if you need to. And then finding that push back into the center on 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. So, finding this alignment here on the right side. So again, I like the right fingers facing the top of the mat. Shoulder and elbow and wrist are aligned. Great. Here we go. So you're slowly lifting all the way up and then pushing down here. Oh no, sorry, it was that elbow reach, excuse me. The swing comes after. Great. So that feeling, there we go, of reaching up and noticing how you can push down and like almost give that right side body like a little bit of a crunch. Like a small internal crunch lift. Great. Cool, 3 more. And feeling how that stretch of the side actually feels nice, even if it requires us to hold. And kind of bringing your awareness to which leg feels active. Like I feel like also that stabilizing right leg still feels pretty active too. Great, reaching all the way here. And then slowly and steadily circling and reaching. Remember looking down at the floor if you need to. We have 4 more. And can you keep that left shoulder all the way down your spine? Last 2. Oh. Hello, glutes. I love it when I'm happily surprised at a move. You know what I mean? When you're like, oh, I feel there's some different parts than I thought I was. So left hand on your left ankle. 6 times. Here we go. Inhaling, prepare. Exhaling, reach. Inhale here. And exhale, lengthen. And that feeling here of like really taking your time so that you notice it's almost like you push into the side, your side body stretches, and then you use all of that power to come right back up. Cool, 3 more. Inhale, replenishing. Exhale, extend. Last full moment. Great, and then finding your way back to your center. Great. Knees again, open to the side, feet in the middle, and just roll yourself forward for a second. Feeling free to like give your body that stretching moment that it needs. Cool, take another inhale, and then find your way all the way back up on 3, 2, and 1. Great. Coming back into the center, ball goes in between the thighs, please. Inner feet are together, hands come underneath the knees for a moment, sitting up really tall, elbows wide. Exhale, rolling back for me here. And again, sensing where you're at, noticing how your spine can be actively engaged through your belly, but still not stressed. Good. Slowly release the feet from the floor, holding here. And then slowly release your hands. Great, we're squeezing the ball, you're still curling. And on the way back, I want you to stretch up the spine. We're making mini moves here. So you're squeezing as you curl back, and then all the way up on your inhale. Exhale, squeeze and curl. Now let's think about these small moments that are happening within the vertebrae, right? You're lengthening out through the belly area in order to create that long sensation through the spine out of the top of your head. Great, we have another 3. Inhale, lift. Exhale it out for 2. And your last one here. Great, inhale nice and long. Slowly bring the feet back, return your hands. And then slowly stack your spine up on 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. Keeping your feet exactly where they are on the floor. Inhale nice and tall. Exhale again, squeeze. Rolling and holding. Finding that reach all the way through your fingertips here. Slowly and steadily lifting up again. Cool. Now you're taking your inhale for this moment. You're exhaling, lifting up, twisting to that right side. And then exhaling back to the middle, curling for your supportive reach. Inhale, open up to the left. Exhale, squeeze that ball and curl. So you may notice that your legs are getting tired, or that your hips feel like, hey, I'm holding this a little bit too much there. If that's the case, you may always put your feet back down on the floor. But see if we can give that ball a squeeze on the way up. And almost like you release when your hand touches, and then a squeeze as you curl down just a bit. Great. Inhaling, opening. Exhaling, squeezing, returning. Good. One more time on each side. Remember that openness through the chest, keeping the spine happy. And still focusing on that stabilization, even if the wobble is okay. Great, soles of your feet go back down, hands come underneath, and then stack up your spine. On 3, 2, and 1. Great, opening up the knees again, rolling the ball forward, and just allowing for a little bit of a counter stretch. Great, slowly and steadily finding your way back up to your seated point. Hands come here. Actually, no, let's bring the ball underneath both feet for now. And bringing your knees together, sitting up tall here, and then finding your curl all the way down until your shoulder blades hit the floor. And we're keeping this ball rolled relatively close to us for the moment. Great. Slowly pushing the ball all the way out, noticing how your legs can get long with that flex. And then inhaling all the way back. Exhale, engage the belly, flex out the legs and reach. And then inhale, push on down, find your way back. Great. If you're comfortable here for now with that neck support, let's stay there. If you feel like you're ready to add a little bit of arm movement, we're gonna go for the inhaling here. And on that exhale, we'll release the arms all the way back. Inhaling, arms come up. And exhale, it's almost like you're pushing away. Now, if you feel like your arms want to do something else, by all means, invite them to do whatever feels good. But just trying to take up that space, release the neck of any tension. You can also put your head, neck, and shoulders down if that feels way more supportive, and use your arms from that floor position. Great, 2 more. And your last time here. Great, hands behind your head, walking the ball all the way back for me. And then slowly melting down on 3, 2, and 1. Great. Palms come all the way out into a nice T shape. Left leg goes on top of the right. And we hold for a moment. Melting the entire spine all the way down, trying to create less space between the lower back and the floor, even if there's a little bit of space there. And we slowly stretch out that right leg. And then on the way back, we push and open the left. So we're trying to find an element of openness through the hip here. And on the way back, you push and open the left leg without shifting those hips. Exhaling out. Inhaling, reach. Exhale, reconnect. And then inhale, extend. And noticing again, how much control do you feel like you have? Do you feel like you can be expansive in this position, or is it challenging? Good. Pushing the palms into the floor so that the backs of your arms lift off of the mat. Good. 2 more to go. And then finding that full exhale, extend. Inhale back to the center. Great. Slowly bringing both feet back down on the floor. Back on the ball for a moment. Palms come up, head, neck, and shoulders lift. And we slowly and steadily reach. 3, 2, and 1. Get hands behind your head. You're grabbing the ball on the outside and finding your way back in towards the middle. From here, we slowly twist towards the right as you stretch out those legs. And then find your way back to the center, staying on that right side twist. So exhaling, twist. Inhaling, regrouping. So you'll notice that at the end, there's a nice little squeeze of the ball. And focusing on that head, neck, and shoulder lift. So just the shoulders, or rather the shoulders aren't necessarily touching. It's almost like you can feel the space grow between the shoulder blades. Great, we have another 4. Inhale back to that center position for 3. And figuring out how much squeeze you really want to give on that ball, and then deciding that for yourself. Awesome, and your last one here. Super. Slowly and steadily putting the feet back down onto the ball. Cool. And then melting your spine down on 3, 2, and 1. Great. Palms go all the way out into your T shape. This time the right leg gets lifted, reaching it on top of the left knee, and still trying to keep that ball more or less underneath your left or somewhat in the center so that we're not wobbling all over. But if you wobble, then embrace the wobble. So inhaling, prepare. Exhale, extend, hold. Great. Inhale back to the middle, push down on the ball, and reach out that right leg. Now you get to choose, right, that angle of the right leg extension, meaning wherever you feel like you can use that reach, do it. If that feels like you need to make it a little bit lower or a little bit wider, embrace it. Just feeling that you're still controlling the move and the move is not controlling you. Great. Reconnecting on that exhale. Inhaling, new space. Great. 3 more. And can you lift the backs of your arms just a little bit off the floor? Can you find a tiny bit more openness and use that inner thigh to come right back? Your last full time here. Awesome. Inhale, stretch. And then exhale, find both feet back on the floor. Excuse me, back on the ball. Palms come up, head, neck, and shoulders follow as we exhale up. And then reaching as the hands come behind your head, reaching on the outside of the ball, knees come in towards the center for your inhale. Exhale, twist and squeeze to the left. So, I always find this as like a nice way to almost like dance through space. It's like you're finding that inside hello hug and then get to extend and reach. And that squeeze on the ball at the end is your decision. You can also just gently hold it, but noticing how your whole body can be like at ease. Even if it's active, it doesn't have to be tense. You can still open the elbows. You can still melt the shoulders down your back. You can still sense the back of your head without like gripping your fingers. Great, 3 more. Inhale, smiling back in the center, squeeze for 2. Last time here for 1. Great, back to the center, soles of your feet, come back directly on the ball. And you bring your hands down by your side and melt for me down on 3, 2, and 1. Great, bringing the ball underneath that lower back, because this really does feel so nice sometimes. So remember, you have that feeling of your back is not extraordinarily arched, it's more like a support feeling. Cool, so feet go on the outside of the mat, knees come in towards the middle, elbows go all the way out to the outside of the mat, and fingertips are upward facing. So you kind of notice that your knees and your hands are in the same direction. Great, slowly inhale, and then exhale, open up your knees, reaching the arms up towards the top, and then squeeze the knees back together as your elbows go open. Great, inhaling, reach. Exhale, open. Now, you have, of course, options here, right? If you just kind of like swing your arms and don't really pay much attention, then nothing's actually happening. So really think about like activating, like you have to fight through that space so that everything starts to get really engaged. Great, inhale, open. Exhale, squeeze. Get 3 more. And even notice how your thighs get activated, your inner thighs get activated, your elbows are moving, your forearms are reaching, your fingertips are happy. Good. Last 2. Awesome. All the way back. Cool. Finding your way back to your starting point. Palms go all the way down. Low V for me. Pushing into the ball for a moment with your back as you float your knees in towards your center. Great. So you're opening your knees to tap your toes. Exhale, tap your knees. So think about keeping a diagonal angle that you can comfortably hold. If it feels too easy, feel free to lower your legs down a little bit. But let's really focus on that articulation through the hips, tapping and closing. Great, we have 4 more. And again, that feeling of expansiveness through the sides and the back, but really grounding the belly button and those inner layers of muscles downwards. 2. Last time. Slowly lower those feet down to the floor. Bring your knees open to the side, and let's do that nice little hip shimmy as we shake and reach from one side to the next for 3, 2, and last time. Great, slowly and steadily finding your way off of the ball, melting your spine down, reaching your arms up, and finding that length, 1 vertebrae at a time. On 3, 2, and 1. Great, knees come back in towards each other. Take another inhale, and then exhale, head, neck, and shoulders lengthen. Great, right hand goes behind your head, left leg is gonna go all the way long, left arm comes here. You're twisting all the way to the side of your right hip, and on the way back, you're gonna switch your legs. So you're just staying on this right side twist, inhaling, reach, exhaling, coming on back. So you'll notice here that that full combination of stretching both legs, and if one leg happens to be leading, don't worry about it. And even in this twist, because I do love twisting, we're trying to keep those hips really neutral, right? They're balanced, not one hip is coming up. You feel how that reach can still allow for a bit more space in the spine and the shoulders. We have another 2, And then one. Great. Slowly bring your feet back down to the floor and then rotate onto your right side over here. Great. Pushing into the ball again. This time lengthening both knees, rather lifting both knees up and finding your way back down. So remember, we're using the sides to lift up the knees and slowly bring them down. Trying to not necessarily collapse them. Like I still want like a light hover the whole time if that's possible. Great, 4 more. Inhaling, push. Exhale, use that extension of the breath to really lower down. Great. 3 more. You may even notice that your body's like, oh, how cool. I can actually lift these knees even higher than I thought. Great, that last time you're holding here. Fantastic. Stretching out both legs if we can. And then lowering just the right leg and lifting it up on 8, 7. And that push on the ball can either be constant or as you lift the leg up, I find it helpful to push down. So it's almost like the leg lowers, you release. And then as you push up, you push into the ball for 4. 3. Remember that full extension of the leg is optional. You can also bend your legs if that feels better for you. 2. Last time here on 1. Great, slowly bending, bringing both knees down to the floor on 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. Finding your way back in towards the middle for a sec. And just allowing the body to be rocking your knees from sides to side if you'd like. Taking a nice deep inhale, feeling all of that power that just came through you and letting it kind of redistribute itself within you. Great, last full inhale here. And then exhale out. Great, knees come back into their parallel position, arms all the way up towards the ceiling, grabbing onto the ball on the outside. Inhale here. Exhale, squeeze and lift. Great. Ball goes into the right hand. Left hand comes behind your head. Both knees come into a tabletop position. Right arm all the way by your ear. And then stretching out your right leg as you twist towards the left. And then exhale, find your way back. So using this ball, not necessarily as like a push point here, but more like a grabbing, reaching activation point. So you notice that it's like you have something in your hand and it allows you to focus a tiny bit more on what that right arm is doing. And perhaps even give you a little bit more awareness of what that right side is doing as you reach. Great. So you're inhaling, reaching. And exhale back. And remember, if your breath feels like you want to do something else, like you want to exhale here, you can do that. Just play around a little bit and see what feels good. There's always that quote unquote right way, but I still feel like breathing, as long as it's slow and intentional and it feels supportive, then that's what I go with. Great. 2 more. And your last full reach on your inhale here. Exhale out. Great. Feet go on the floor, shifting your weight onto your left side. Which looks like that. Great. And then fingertips facing your face, elbows down. We're pushing into the ball as we lift the knees up and slowly lowering down. Now remember, the lower down looks like your knees are actually going down, and they are going down, but we're not collapsing them down. We're still trying to keep some sort of hover feeling. Great. And hopefully the neck is not feeling stressed, and if it feels like it's too much, you can always find your way down here. And just notice if your range of motion gets bigger or smaller. Great, 3 more. And again, that sense of pushing. And can you maybe even lift the left side body a little bit off of the mat? Maybe yes, maybe no. For 2. And then your last time here, pushing all the way and then stretching out those legs. Good, and then lowering the left leg down and lifting it up for 8. And melting that right shoulder down for 7. And still focusing on squeezing those inner thighs, like magnetizing them together for 6. 5. And seeing each time you go, can you maybe even lift that side body a little bit away from the floor on the left side for 3. 2. And that full last one here. Good, bending your knees. Slowly lowering your body down and finding your way again back onto your backs. Keeping the ball in the right hand and allowing the hips to rock side to side, knees to open. Inhaling. Exhale out. Also almost done. Inhale here. And exhale, release. Cool. Feet come back towards the center, knees parallel, arms come all the way up, reaching your legs out now, extending them here. Squeeze that ball for me in your inhale. Exhale, head, neck, and shoulders follow, and we lengthen. Cool. So, let's take the ball for a moment underneath the lower back and bringing the feet a tiny bit wider than hip width apart. And noticing again, you're using the ball as like a holding point, but it's still challenging. So you're bringing your palms in a nice prayer position. Great, you're inhaling, prepare. Exhale, bring the elbows out to the side. Your palms stay together. It's almost like your wrists are coming towards your belly. And then you're exhaling, reaching. Great, so think about lifting all the way through the chest, opening the elbows. Palms still stay together, and then you push the palms a little bit more as you lift. Great. 3 more. Engage the belly as you reach and lift. Great. You can notice how the entirety of the arm pushes together as you stretch them all the way up and you sit up tall. Right, so like even if you're slightly hinged back, that spine still stays long and happy. Cool. Last time here. Great. Slowly and steadily bringing your feet together. Reach your ball from behind you. And then find your hinge back position as you bring your knees in towards your tabletop. Great. Slowly and steadily reaching your legs out, opening your arm to the side, ball goes in the right. Exhale, back to the center, tap. Switching hands for me. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, extend. Now you'll notice where your hinge back is feeling, right? Like if you feel like you're going back too far, or your back is starting to talk to you, then bring that upper body up a little bit. Great, let's focus on that full extension, whatever that looks like for you. Exhale, open. Great, 1 more on each side. From now. Great, and your last full one here. Super, knees come in towards you, rolling down just a little bit. Hands behind your head with the ball, elbows wide. And let's just do a nice little bicycle just to stretch out the rest of us for 5. Slowly and steadily finding that L shape before you bend for 4. Nice long deep breaths for 3. Keeping that space moving for 2. Great. And feeling how happy your legs are for this moment of 1. Great. Knees come back all the way towards the center, parallel to one another. 1 step away with your heels. Release the ball with your hands forward facing. Squeezing on your inhale, and then exhale, push on up. Great, everyone, opening up your knees one last time, and then rolling nice and long. Inhale here. And then exhale, stack on up. On 3, 2, 1. Thank you very much for your service ball. Bringing those feet a little bit closer, hands next to you. Shift your weight forward. Opening up your feet a tiny bit more and allowing for that full forward fold, whatever that feels like, whatever that looks like. And just walking a little bit over to your right leg to allow for that side to stretch a bit. Inhaling here. And then exhaling, slowly walking over to the other side. Great. Inhaling, hold. Exhaling, melt. Great. Inhale again, back towards the center. And exhale, hold here. And here's where we say yes to everything that fits our vision of what we'd like our life to be. And we actively say no to everything else. And take another inhale. And then let's exhale, slowly stack up our spines on 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. That's the lead, people. Thanks, all. Great. Inhale, reach up. And then let it flow however you need to, however you want to. Great. Inhaling it up.